E100. We've made it all the way to essay 100 in this great book, big book called American Miscellany. This thing is massive. We're not even a third of the way through, but we're getting through. So this book was published in 1865. So it's got a lot of interesting subjects, and it has advertised itself as a book of universal knowledge. So this book is definitely something that has been random and universal, but I think nothing quite as universal as our subject, How to Live. We're here on the same page as our previous essay. Essay number 9 was just a short one on Indian lock. We're here on page 247, working on essay number 100. So exciting. Essay 100, How to Live. Nervous indulgence. All nervous and melancholy people should not only seek occupation to divert self-reflections from their leading grievance, but determinedly not think of it, even though they can find nothing else to do. Ever-present apprehension, misgivings, and even sensations are the growth of habit, as much as the musician is always singing, the poet rhapsodizing, or the artist sketching. No man can do two things at once, any more than a man can be at two places at the same time, and hence engage but the mind in a new task, no matter whether it be to count 100 or set off on an errand, and the dull thought will give way to the circumstance of the moment. We contend it is possible in this way to subdue grief, to avert distressing reflections, and to struggle against difficulties. There are 1,000 occupations that might engage the best of us, successfully too, if we inquire into and can find our capacities. Learning a language, studying music, singing, horticulture, dancing, a most excellent device. Drawing, opera-going, sightseeing, riding and driving out, traveling, above all others. Jaunting, making excursions, following the pleasures of the day. And if none of these possess attractions, brooding rivets the malady. And if none of these possess attractions, it is unwise to indulge in the one thought, for brooding rivets the malady, and the chances are against our ever resuming the position in life we have fallen from. Think of the shortness of life, and what a piece of extreme folly it is to waste an hour in heedless lamentation and woe. So cute. Woe is spelled W-O. If fretting never repaired a loss, and never filled up a chasm, never mended a broken limb, never smothered a fire. The moment a circumstance is past, if it be inimical, set instantly, like the bird with its stolen nest, to repair it. The mischief often happens for the best. On exercise, horse riding, and gymnastics. Nothing can exceed the value of exercise. Nature made man to be moving as birds are made to fly, and it is unnatural not to use the powers we are supplied with. In walking, which is before every other action except horse riding, and that, by the by, only we are told, all things are made for our use, is by some a questionable right of man's authority, every muscle is brought in play. In consequence, the blood circulates with greater force and rapidity, so long as we do not excite the same too powerfully, so long we walk and move about, short of fatigue. Horse exercise is sanatory and recreative, healthy from securing thereby abundance of exercise, getting over distances and far into the country, procuring thus fresh air and mental occupation, and of an agreeable kind, because the very management of a steed requires some little address and attention. It strongly behooves all dyspeptics, to whom time is an object, and who, besides, may not be strong enough to walk 2 or 3 miles, to secure by hook or crook a cob or pony. The anxious man may plead expense as a hindrance, but surely the hiring may be substituted in the case for purchasing. More also is made of the latter than need be. $70 or $80 will be begrudged for a horse, whereas the same money will be spent in a feast or parted with in a incautious credit, or laid aside for some little unnecessary extravagance. Many a man has to reflect that it would have been better for him to have bought his horse than to have done so and so with his money. Where ambling and cantering are quite impossible, and a two-legged conveyance is all that can be commanded, pray, my friend, be you invalid or otherwise, use it. Invalid, yeah, sorry. My friend, be you invalid or otherwise, use it. Do not stick indoors all day, but make an effort and get over, by gentle or brisker efforts, some 3 or 4 miles a day. If your business confine you from 8 till 8 or 6 till 6, there is still time left before and afterward. Have that to yourself, and spend it in walking in the sun, if possible, at least in the air, and where you can, as far from town or narrow streets as may be. I might do that after this. There are thousands of people whose only complaint is want of exercise. A bloated paunch may, by exercise and abstinence, be rendered classically spare and elegant. The city apprentice, the friendless youth, or the young gentleman, all of whom service, restraint, or indolence forbids stepping beyond, scarcely can it be called, in and out of bed, what would they not derive from a couple hours' daily walk in the fresh air? It would make a hero of each. Every lad might become a Whittington, many of them mayors. The pale face, bloodless lips, and sunken eyes of many a young maiden also might be restored to roseate health by an hour or two's morning walk in the parks, or the high roads, or the fields. And how it behooves of fathers and mothers to insist upon their daughters that need it, doing as much if the young ladies have no faith in the means themselves. Our time should be thus distributed: 8 hours rest, 8 hours application to our engagements, studies, worldly duties, and the remaining 8 to health and recreation. This is a good division where practicable. I think so too. I think that's fantastic. Fantastic. Why can't we do that? The flesh brush. Here we are. The flesh brush. Horsehair gloves, soft and hard brushes to rub the body with, or friction or shampooing of the same with the uncovered hand, are severally recommended by medical men. I am a believer in the usefulness of each variety, but I give preference to the latter, the use of the hand, and I advise its application local and general. Friction of the abdomen in cases of torpid liver, distended bowels, or a morbidly irritable stomach is of great service. It will not, however, suffice merely to rub the hand over the belly 6 times. The bowels, liver, and stomach should be regularly kneaded for at least 15 or 20 times every day. The easiest times certainly are before rising and on going to bed, but the best time is in between meals, when the food is all but digested. In young and delicate persons, a friction of the entire body is highly serviceable, and it is no bad additional morning and evening amusement for an adult to use the hair brush, or the flesh brush, or the hand, which is the best, over legs, arms, and entire body. The advantages of this process are that it can be done without assistance, but with elderly and infirm people, a rubber is indispensable. The result will be that all the digestive organs will be excited into something like action. Where exercise is forbidden by involuntary confinement or other causes, the shampooing supplies in its place the year round, and it should form a species of gymnastics, night and morning, from 5 to 10 minutes, more or less, each time. The stomach receives thereby a glow that diffuses itself over the entire abdomen, and I have known cases of constipation most agreeably relieved by the same. The use of dumbbells is salutary, as indeed are all gymnastic recreations, lifting light weights, suspending the body by the limbs, swinging, skipping, etc., etc. Battledore and shuttlecock. Battledore and shuttlecock is an excellent game for grown-up courtyard and alone or with a playmate. Determine to number 1,000 jerks of the feathered cock. Essay number 100, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. We gotta get into an unlumbered room or a courtyard and alone or with a playmate. Determine to number 1,000 jerks of the feathered cock. Never mind the seemingly puerility of playing with trifles light as air. You will get into a wholesome glow and derive much amusement at the fun of it. Let those laugh who win. Cricket is a splendid game, bowls an amusing one. Billiards, if played only for friendly contention, are mentally recreative and physically useful. In short, whether you be man or woman, boy or maiden, old or young, move about and take exercise in the best way you can, and as much unhoused as possible. Exercise is positively a virtue, and virtue is, as the schoolboy's copy has it, its own reward.